Welcome back to WBN 404 AM. We do apologize for dropping the broadcasts for a few days. Well, you see, hmm, there were these mutant rats. They were giant and they had like multiple tails. And they came by one night and they started chewing on the outside of our broadcast bunker wall, which made a huge hole and exposed our wiring. And there were some members of the Wire Nut clan that were passing by. They saw the hole, they saw the shiny little wires, so they decided to help themselves to it. So, because of that, of course, we couldn't do any broadcasting because there was nothing to connect the electricity from our generators. So, we weren't able to get in touch with our liaison with the Happy Fallout Media Corporation. And just like in the pre-collapse days, obviously we couldn't get in touch with HR. So I sent Jace and Rusty Buckner. He's our maintenance resident handyman type. He's actually gonna have a show, but that'll be coming in a couple weeks because he's extremely busy trying to keep everything together. But anyway, I sent them out to scavenge for wires and scrap metal to see if we could fix it ourselves. So while they were out, they were walking toward one of the sections that has this big heaps of scrap. Jace decided to pick up a candy bar off the side of the road. He didn't realize that they were that close to where the acolytes of the Great Vending Machine and the Rust Rats are still, waging their little war. So when apparently somebody saw him pick up the candy bar, came flying a flat can of soda, hit him upside the head, knocked him out. Rusty had to pull him to safety. After he recovered, they went and were able to find the wires and some metal to patch the bunker. And then once they got back, Jace lay down in the corner to recover, and Rusty fixed the hole. So we're live again. Yay!
Yeah, yay. My head still hurts. Do you have anything for it?
No, Jace, I don't. Just try to lay down. It's not like I can run down to the drugstore and get you some aspirin or something. Just remember, if you see candy bars lying down the road, especially right now, don't pick them up.
Okay.
Anyway, on to the news. As Jace found out, tensions have escalated between the acolytes of the Great Vending Machine and the Rust Rats. The snack crisis has entered its second week, and the ongoing conflict has shown no sign of resolution. Skirmishes continue to erupt across vending machine heavy territories. Reports indicate that the acolytes have doubled their defenses, reinforcing vending machines with makeshift barricades, warning signs, and an aggressive sermon about the importance of proper coin rituals. Now, the Rust Rats regrouped overnight, attempting a stealth mission to secure what they claim was just one damn bag of chips before their morale completely crumbled. The Acolytes responded fiercely, deploying their elite force, the Guardians of the Glow, to stand vigilant near sacred snack dispensers. A tense standoff occurred at a partially functioning machine where both factions hurled expired pastries and candy bars and mocking insults about each other's lack of faith in automated nourishment. Now, the Restaurant's leader, Scrapjaw, said, "We're just trying to survive out here, and if that means fighting for a 17-year-old protein bar, so be it. The vending machines don't care about anyone, they're just machines." Now, High Priest Lacington of the Acolytes just declared it blasphemy. Said the Great Machine provides. Snacks are good, snacks are eternal, like they always say. If they refuse to honor the sacred transaction, then they shall starve in shame. Now, the casualty count. Reports indicate multiple snack-related injuries, including minor bruising from stale wafers, and one unlucky soul rendered unconscious by an airborne can of flat soda. Gee, I wonder who that was.
I'm never living this down, am I?
No, you're not. Anyway, faction relations are deteriorating rapidly. Diplomacy attempts involving an offering of half melted chocolate were immediately rejected. So, our advice is to avoid these vending machine heavy territories, Jace, unless prepared to align with a faction, barter with highly valuable snack goods, or risk getting your head caved in by a can of old soda. We remain on high alert as tensions rise, so does the likelihood of full scale snack warfare. Stay tuned. Next up is our Wasteland Market Watch. In today's survival economy, canned goods remain the backbone of the trade. Recent events have sent the market into a frenzy, shifting the value of key commodities overnight. Canned baked beans surged to an all time high. Experts report on unprecedented demand spike driven by their long shelf life, making them ideal for bunker stockpiling. Faction leaders are hoarding supplies, and thus creating an artificial scarcity and driving up the prices. A rumored bean backed currency proposal has sparked speculation in underground trade circles. Now, kidney beans have dipped slightly. While they're still valuable, their trade volume has dropped because, as customers say, why have kidney beans when I can have baked beans? And there are also some questions about the quality in recent stockpiles, and the faction preferences are shifting to higher calorie goods. Now, something to watch because we're not sure exactly what it's going to do to the to market. Um, there was a pre-collapse warehouse that was filled with canned tuna. Now, this could be good if the 15-year-old tuna is still okay to eat. But this is something that we're still trying to determine. I mean, I'm sure somebody out there is going to eat it, and then we'll all know because we'll learn from either their mistake or their discovery. But because there's a supply flood that's potentially it could have crashed everything. Now, there have been attempts to rebrand the tuna as a luxury good, and we're not sure how that's going to work out because, like I said, people don't know if we can actually eat them. But we do have a lovely debate coming up on Wasteland Symposium about expired canned goods, whether or not we should eat them, and which types would be the best to eat. And I think the tuna will be part of it. I get the wonderful honor of hosting that, and we will have two so called experts, so you can join us later on. Anyway, now going to scrap metal, there is, of course, an increased demand due to ongoing conflict and bunker fortifications and giant mutant rats eating the outside walls and such. Scrap metal has now become a prime trading commodity, especially among faction engineers and survivalists and reinforcing their shelters. Weaponsmiths converting scrap metal into crude weapons for bartering. And the market analysts, if you can call them that, are forecasting long term stability in the scrap economy. Okay, now just remember baked beans are now the survival standard. Kidney beans are hanging on, but they are losing ground. We still are debating the tuna crisis, and scrap remains a safe, solid trade investment. Now, coming up is our survival fashion report. And since I could care less about fashion, I'm going to turn this over to our lovely Nova Thorne and her overly perky, happy self. Nova?
It's my turn to shine. Before I tell you exactly what's in and what's not, I just to remind everyone that tomorrow is going to be my first episode of Doom and Bloom, where I teach you how to remain mindful and serene, even in the wasteland. Now, let's discuss what's hot among wasteland elites and what's considered a fashion crime. Okay, fashion disasters and warlord aesthetics. Survival may be brutal, but there's no excuse for tragic personal styling. Here's what's dominating the fashion scene. and also what needs to be buried along the pre-collapse relics. Now, what's trending for this summer? Thinner chains. Bulk is out. Peak minimalism is in. The large industrial chain belts, once favored by our battle-hardened warriors, absolute fashion crime. Today's rising warlords prefer thinner, refined metal accents, both practical for combat and stylishly intimidating. Bonus points if it doubles as an emergency weapon, but it remains light enough for dramatic poses. Now, tactical layering. Why settle for one tattered jacket when you can layer 3 different ones for maximum intimidation and functionality, and also just complete style? Patchwork armor blends, they're combos of leather scraps, reinforced fabric, and metallic plating, and those are essential for combat ready, effortless chic. And stray bullet holes that are intentional, oh, that is like peak fashion for this season. Now let's find out what the elite are wearing and what's hot among the ruling factions. Understated brutality. Gone are the days of excessive gore-covered warlord outfits. Ew. Subtle hints of past battles are far more menacing. We need muted, ruined tones. The color palette is shifting from blood-stained brights to dust-drenched neutrals because nothing says dominance like looking completely unfazed by the horrors around you. Now, what's falling out of style? Excessive scars as fashion statements. I mean, come on. Once they were the ultimate badge of survival, but they've become overplayed because honestly, really, I mean, strategic concealment adds more mystery. And those gigantic spiked shoulder pads, I mean, come on. It's a nightmare in tight corridors. Warlords and their warriors are realizing that function and intimidation should meet. Torn mesh, battle aesthetics, that's just post-collapse grunge is starting to feel so contrived. Expect a shift to sleeker tactical wear in upcoming seasons. I guess that's all I have for today, but just remember, just because everything is dusty and dank and, just crumbling around you, does not give you an excuse. There is no excuse to still look bad. Fashion is everything. And looking good helps to bring peace to your internal self and helps you be more mindful to everything that's around
yeah.
you.
Okay, Nova.
Rude.
Thank you so much for that fashion report. You can save the mindfulness for your episode tomorrow.
Okay.
We were going to provide the Bunker Realty update, but that was going to be presented by Jace, and he's currently knocked out from his adventure that he had earlier. I will say that the BRBL is trying to expand their territory and have been giving a lot of citations for stupid stuff around their bunkers. But Pleasant Valley HOA has started their counterstrike, and they are writing citations to BRBL directly, and we'll get more information about that later once Jace recovers from his headache and wakes up. So for now, good luck, everybody. We hope that you survived to see another day. Oh, instead of tuna, couldn't they have at least found some alcohol? I could really use a drink.